Yeah, a reminder that Oregon and Washington, not the only places seeing these fires. It's a West Coast phenomenon,
yes.
and hopefully we're going to get a break with the weather.
I hope so. We have a chance for some showers Monday night into Tuesday, but typically summer showers aren't the kind that really douse these things. And we are having to watch for the hazy skies for us tonight, and then as you go through the night and into tomorrow, it'll clear up. But I will say this, as long as we have to deal with wildfires, the smoke blows out of our region, it's just being blown into someone else's. So it might be nice relief for us, but somebody else is unfortunately getting the impact of that wind shift. Here are your temperatures for tonight as we get closest to the hottest part of the day. I was right. I mentioned this. I said we probably would get up closer to 84, and we still might even see 85 before we end the night tonight. Upper 80s out into the gorge, and then you can see upper 50s to the upper 60s there along the coast. Astoria did make it to 71 at one point today. We are all warmer all through this area as we see the temperatures, but this will not be the same for us tomorrow. We're actually expecting all these temperatures to be a degree or two cooler. For the warmer temperatures that we've had today, we actually take that with us into tonight, meaning we'll be a little warmer tonight than we were last night. We will continue to see smoky skies. Our side of the Cascades will clear out, which I'm about to show you, but we continue with the smoky skies on the east side of the Cascades as we go through the next couple of days. Here's what we're looking at. Surface level smoke right about now, and if you look out and you look to the east, you definitely see this, and then it clears out as you head off to the coast area. Then northwest winds will kick some of the smoke out for us. You see as we go into the evening, then continue to kick it out as we go through. Unfortunately, it stays pretty thick here, but it does push this on and off to the east southeast. If we were to zoom this out even farther, you would just see that smoke continuing to shift that way. And that's where I say catch-22. It's nice for us in Central Oregon to see some relief, but unfortunately, it's becoming somebody else's problem. For tomorrow, we will have some clouds in the morning, especially along the coast. It will be a mild start, as I mentioned, slightly warmer than yesterday to start, but then cooler once we get to the warmest part of the day. We're looking at more of a low 80, not as much of a mid 80 degree temperature range. And you see that here when you look at the Portland Metro. It'll be a sunny, pretty average day for us. As we get a few more clouds on Sunday, we will see our temperatures dropping in. So this is tomorrow morning. Those clear out, and then watch what happens on Sunday. You can see quite a bit more cloud cover. And then there it is. We start to see that chance for rain coming in and toward us. So later in the day on Monday is when it could be to us. Here's your temperatures and conditions for the day tomorrow across the region. And then here's a look at that 7-day forecast. You'll notice we have that chance for rain going into the afternoon and evening of Monday, continuing through the night. We'll watch whether it clears up before we get up on Tuesday, or we will continue to see a few clouds with some showers in the morning. Temperatures start ramping up, and it's back to the 80s and the 90s possibly going into next weekend.
Courtney Jacobazzi, is a first alert weather day on this St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
How's it looking? We see the radar here.
Yeah, so the rain's going to move in this morning, and this afternoon we'll drop the first alert weather day. This is just for the morning hours because it does look like it's going to get quite wet for a lot of us. Here's a look at first alert radar as the rain is moving in from Fannin County into Carroll County down into Troup County. It looks like Noonan also getting in on this rain right now. The rain about to move inside the perimeter, just light showers there. Cobb County also about to get wet this morning. This all very quickly pushing off to the east, and it's all along a cold front that is moving through the area as we speak. This is going to be the source of our rain for the morning. Now taking a look down towards the Gulf, towards Texas, see that low along this weather system bringing a very stormy morning to the Gulf Coast. That's going to slide off to the east throughout the day and work with our cold front to bring showers mainly south of I-20. And we'll take you through our forecast model in just a couple of minutes here. Temperatures chilly in the low 50s, 54 in Atlanta, 52 in Lawrenceville, 54 in Marietta, and 48 in Alpharetta. Really nice looking sunrise, it looks like, this morning as well before the rain moves in. So let's take you through First Alert Futurecast. The showers will become more widespread as we make our way towards 9 o'clock. So if you have church plans, if you have breakfast plans this morning, just keep in mind you're more than likely going to get wet. And then by 11 o'clock, a lot of that rain pushes east, still impacting places like Athens. But notice, south of I-20 from Carrollton down to Eatonton into LaGrange, showers will be possible on and off pretty much through the entire afternoon. Otherwise, a mostly cloudy day with temperatures topping out in the mid to upper 60s, 69 for a high today in the city of Atlanta. Now at the bus stop tomorrow, as the kids head back to school, as you head back to work, you're going to need the jacket, maybe even the coat. Temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s. And then tomorrow afternoon will be in the mid 50s. It's going to be cool. It's going to be breezy, but thankfully we'll see a lot of sunshine. Here's a look at those wind gusts. As we head through the afternoon hours after lunchtime, gusts will be as high as 25 to 30 miles per hour. We only get colder. In fact, we have a freeze watch Monday night into Tuesday morning for just about all of Metro with the exception of the mountains, because look at the temperatures Tuesday morning. We're talking upper 20s to low 30s. Yikes, for the start of spring, it's going to feel a little more like winter. So highs only in the upper 50s on that day as well. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. The first alert weather day for the morning rain with temperatures in the upper 60s today. 50s Monday and Tuesday with that very cold morning Tuesday morning. Highs near 70 Wednesday. Our next first alert weather day, the next day we want you to focus on is Friday as scattered showers do look to return to the forecast.
7:20.
Leaving behind July, we're ending it on a hot note, but let's reminisce. Let's look back at July and just think about all the wonderful memories of the cooler temperatures that we had.
It was a good month.
It was a good month.
At least for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's
Probably
like
like a
half
solid
of a
2
month.
weeks.
Yeah,
That's
which
a
is
long time.
Upper
great.
80s, low 90s.
Started off a little questionable.
Yeah.
But we pulled it through.
And you know what? That's the hope we got to have for August.
Yeah,
it's
August is
starting
big shoes to
very
fill.
questionable.
It's right.
But hopefully
Big shoes.
it just, says, here, we'll start off hot, but I'll do my thing and then we'll be better, you know? we got to have some hope here. We were, of course, dealing with some 80s there for a while, and now we're paying for it. We are talking triple-digit heat here these past, or feels like temperatures have been in the triple digits, but our temperatures have just been hanging in the upper 90s. So far on the way out the door, due to that humidity, the mugginess, it's just not feeling the best heading out there today. So keep that in mind. You're going to need those ACs going all throughout today. We're tracking mostly clear skies right now. Shangri-La Resort at Grand Lake, all part of Wade's RV Weather Camera Network. Temperatures, Tulsa, we're at 82 degrees, but we're still seeing some upper 70s in Okmulgee, Okemah, Pryor, Tahlequah as well. Southerly winds will continue to stay breezy, which is the good news here. And then as we go towards the afternoon, that's when we're tracking, once again, very similar conditions. Your temperatures will be in the upper 90s. Could be reaching digits but it's certainly going to feel like that. We could be feeling upwards of 110 degrees, and that's why we still have that excessive heat warning. So upper 90s, low 100s. This is going to go from 12 to 9 p.m., and it is likely this is going to continue to extend into your Thursday, which is the start of August. But we've been talking about reminiscing on July. So meteorologist Annie Brown has a little bit more details on that.
It was a great month. We had certain issues where we were above average and the right ones where we wanted to be below average. And in fact, here for Tulsa, we came in above average on that rainfall. As you can see, rainfall totals was just over 5 inches. Not bad for July at all, considering we average about just shy of 4 inches of rainfall. We did hit a daily record of rainfall on the 17th, which was 2.38 inches. 80-degree temperature days. We were talking about this. 11 of them, 100-degree temperature days, 2 of them out of when we average about 4 to 5. Hottest high was 101 on the 15th, and the coolest low was 62 on the 19th. Doesn't that sound nice right about now with all this heat that we're tracking? As we look ahead towards August, we do start to lose daylight. Something worth mentioning, something that you'll start to notice. Here for Tulsa, we're in that kind of that in-between phase where we could see anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes lost as we go throughout the month. Emma?
And Annie, here just looking ahead at August, what you can expect. I mean, this is the beauty of it. We're starting off very hot. Here's our average. We're looking at 95 on August 1st, and then your lows in the lower 70s. But look at that. By August 31st, our average is going to be 90 degrees. And our low, 68 degrees. In fact, our sunrise will start off at 6:31 a.m. Eventually, we'll be waking up with some sunrises closer to that 7 o'clock hour. And then nighttime, they are 7:52 p.m. So that's just something to at least look forward to here as we go into the month of August. But we are still looking very hot start. In fact, August 1st, temperatures in the lower 80s heading out the door. A very, very slight chance for an isolated shower or storm to pop up. So keep that in mind heading out the door tomorrow, and then temperatures in those triple digits by the afternoon. Tomorrow looks very, very hot, and unfortunately with the heat indices, that's why I'm saying that excessive heat warning could continue into tomorrow. And then after that, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we do get at least a northerly wind for Friday as a very weak front moves through. That'll continue to provide another isolated chance. And then we are dry and temperatures still in the upper.
Quiet here as far as the radar is concerned for Iowa, but you'll notice the storms and the cloud cover that's already starting to push into, at least the cloud cover is, across northwest portions of Iowa. We've got some severe storms with wind gusts 70, 75 miles per hour. So pushing out of South Dakota and Nebraska, eventually into northwestern portions of the state. And it's likely still, it's a good 100, 110 miles away from northwestern portions of Iowa, but still probably a good 2 to 3 hours before it gets here closer towards Ida Grove, Sac County, places like Spencer. You're included in that severe thunderstorm watch that goes until 2 a.m. Otherwise, the rest of us stay quiet here, at least for the time being. Temperatures upper 70s to low 80s on the map right now. We're at 82 in Des Moines, 77 in Ankeny, Newton, as well as Pella. High temperatures today. A few of us ended up in the 90s, 92 officially at the Des Moines International Airport, 94 in Osceola. We were in the low 90s out towards Audubon and Atlantic. Again, some significant rainfall totals for a lot of us across the state, and especially south sides of the metro area down into southeastern portions of Iowa. Then we had a narrow band of some higher totals, anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rainfall, say from just south of Fort Dodge all the way back through Marshalltown. So not everyone got in on the rain, but I think there'll be more chances for other folks to see some rain here as we head into the next 2 to 3 days. Next 12 hours, we keep it quiet here for the time being. Storm chances, at least the potential for some isolated storms, ramp up as we get closer towards daybreak tomorrow. Temperatures, though, stay hot and muggy here overnight tonight. Tomorrow afternoon, heat indices into the lower triple digits. We get into the day on Wednesday, we're talking feels like temperatures anywhere from 105 to 110 across the state. So it's going to be a hot couple of days ahead of us, again, with those feels like temperatures well above actual air temperatures outside. Futurecast looks like this. We'll take you through the night. It's got the cluster of storms that are moving out of South Dakota and into northeastern portions of Nebraska. Those potentially could fizzle out across northwestern portions of the state, although it's been likely that they'll kind of hang on at least as they get into northwest Iowa. Overnight tonight, though, a few isolated storms are possible through daybreak tomorrow, especially across north central and northern Iowa. We get into tomorrow afternoon, you'll notice a few more storms kind of bubble up across the eastern half of the state. Tomorrow night, again, another chance for some isolated showers and storms after midnight or so into early Wednesday morning, and we'll see that trend for overnight storms continue as we head into the next couple of nights. Again, best chance for severe weather on Tuesday. Central Iowa, you're included in this. North central Iowa, eastern Iowa, in that slight risk for severe weather. That's level 2 out of 5. So we could see some strong winds. The potential for a tornado is there, but also some large hail throughout tomorrow morning and into the afternoon. We get a little bit hotter tomorrow. Highs in the mid 90s. Again, isolated to scattered storms during the afternoon and evening hours. 8-day forecast will be weather impact days both Tuesday and Wednesday. 96 on Wednesday, a little bit hotter during the daytime hours on Wednesday. Still hanging on to 90 degrees on Thursday. We're back into the upper 80s, though. No big relief in time for the weekend. We'll stay close to 90 both Saturday and Sunday. That's correct. We've got more storms incoming here overnight tonight, Stacey and Ben, and we'll see more storms again heading into the day on Wednesday. So several more rounds, kind of like last night. We're waiting for those storms to develop out in Nebraska. Models don't have a great handle on this yet again, so it's kind of a wait and see situation. I really don't think we'll see anything develop until at least after midnight across western Iowa. So we've got a couple more hours here where we'll be fairly quiet. Temperatures 70s on the map for most of us, 80s in far southwestern portions of the state. Feels like temperature not terrible out there. Again, we had the clouds and the rain today that really suppressed our temperatures and our heat index through the day on Tuesday. Tomorrow will be a different story. It's definitely going to get a lot hotter, I think, getting into the day on Wednesday. Rainfall totals, we had several storms kind of train over the same area, especially with around early this morning and then again by the afternoon, picking up close to 3 to 4 inches in this red and yellow color that you see here, this little stripe that stretches from Polk County through Jasper County back down into Marion counties and Mahaska County as well. So a good amount of us picking up anywhere from, say, 1 inch of rainfall here today all the way upwards of 3 to 4 inches in some of those higher amounts under some of those heftier thunderstorms that kind of just came over the same area today. Super Doppler 8 is fairly quiet for the time being. Again, these storms and showers that you see, it's really just rain, not severe and not doing anything right now. It's the storms that are back into Nebraska that we've got to keep our eye on here And this will continue to develop across eastern portions of Nebraska. And then eventually, I think we get some activity developing in Iowa overnight tonight. Tomorrow gets hotter. We're talking mid-90s. Best chance of rain comes during the morning hours on Wednesday and then again in the evening, probably after dinner time tomorrow night. Thursday, a lot drier, still going to be hot and humid, but just not quite as hot as Wednesday will be. Hour by hour forecast looks like this. So again, as I mentioned, model's not having a great handle on the activity that's been going on today and last night. There should be some storms already developed out here in Nebraska. It does not see those. So I think we will see some sort of development probably in western Iowa, likely after midnight tonight. And then eventually some storms kind of developing closer towards central Iowa as we head closer towards daybreak on Wednesday. Those storms push out of here as we head closer towards 9-10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then you have the daytime hours where we heat things up if we don't have a lot of cloud cover. Again, temperatures climbing into the 90s tomorrow. As we go through Wednesday, say late afternoon, evening hours, more storms develop. Again, wind will be our biggest concern. Also hail with any of these storms here tomorrow. And then Thursday looks a lot quieter as we get closer towards the weekend and end of the work week. Like tonight, tomorrow we have that enhanced risk for severe weather. That's the orange color that you see here. It's a level 3 out of 5 for central, western, and northwestern portions of the state. So damaging winds are biggest concern. In addition to the storms, the heat index climbing close to 110 likely tomorrow afternoon. So central, southern, western portions of the state under that heat advisory during the day on Wednesday. Tonight's forecast 70s, tomorrow a little bit hotter, upper 80s to low to mid 90s across the state. 8-day forecast keeps us close to 90 degrees for the next several days, right into the first part of next week.
This is a KCCI Storm Team 8 weather update.
Hi there, I'm Storm Team 8 meteorologist Ann Campolongo. Wanted to give you a quick update here as we head into the 8 o'clock hour now. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings for portions of the metro area, including Dallas County, Madison County, Polk County, as well as Warren County. That goes until 8:45. So we have another good 30, 35, close to 40 minutes left on these warnings here. Good news is the line of storms, this is the same line of storms that rolled through Omaha closer towards 5 and 6 o'clock, brought destructive winds to the Omaha Council Bluffs area. That's where we saw wind gusts upwards of 80 to 90 miles per hour. The good news is once those storms pushed into western portions of the state, they weakened significantly. So these are just baseline severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got some lightning out into portions of Dallas County, Winterset into Madison County. If you live in West Des Moines, you're probably hearing the thunder and seeing the lightning. We've also got a pretty nice shelf cloud going on right now, right through the West Des Moines area. So again, biggest concerns with these storms here tonight are going to be the winds, and that's what we've been seeing for most of this evening so far. Let's put on the velocities here just to give you an idea. Now, these are not confirmed wind gusts, but there are some stronger winds a little bit higher up in the atmosphere that are indicating maybe 60 to 70 miles per hour here with some of these cells. So I can't get that to work, but we have seen where you have those brighter blues and whites on there. That's wind gusts potentially upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Again, a little bit higher up in these storms. So we want to keep a close eye on that. Again, these storms were looking a little bit ragged as they pushed into west central Iowa, but starting to get a little bit more organized here. So we've got those severe thunderstorm warnings, including portions of the metro area. The only other severe storm that we have on the map currently is back down into southern and southwestern portions of Iowa out towards the Mount Airy area.
Including Campton Hills. This is where we're seeing some of that rotation, as well as Caneville. This is where we have some of the strongest wind and some of the heaviest rain, and along this line starting to see some of that rotation as well. So if you are in DeKalb County and Kane County, you'll want to listen up. It's not for everyone in those two counties. It's this red box that you see here. This is the tornado warning, including Campton Hills, Virgil, Elburn, St. Charles as well. If you are in St. Charles, Campton Hills, Batavia, North Aurora, you'll want to be in your safe spot because this is where we are starting to see some rotation within this line. I'll zoom out here to show you that this line, as it was approaching our area, was really just a few thunderstorms, and then it really fired up. So this has been the case where we saw yesterday, we had this line of severe thunderstorm, or this line of rain that moved through yesterday. Yesterday, we didn't have any severe thunderstorms associated with them, but I think this time, because we had this system that just formed over us, we got most of that heavy rain and now the gusty wind and that chance for tornadoes pretty much happened here in our area. I'm going to loop here the last 5 hours to show you as this really started to develop here, and that line just bubbled up. You can see that there, and then that tornado warning was triggered. So a lot of this is going to cause some wind damage, but along this line here, this is where we're seeing some of the rotation, and in some cases it's sometimes very obvious on radar where I can show you on velocity, but it's really along this line that you see here. I'll stop this to show you that right along this line, this is really where we could have that rotation. So including Burlington, I mean, that's just to the north, Virgil as well. If you're in DeKalb, I think that at this point, we're not seeing any rotation there. It's mainly just the wind. So that bright green that you see there, Maple Park, you're likely seeing a little bit of rotation in that area as well. And this, again, heading towards Elburn now, and pretty quickly, this is Campton Hills as well. So if you are in these areas, take a look at your screen right now. If you're in Campton Hills, St. Charles, this is where you want to get into your safe space because we do have rotation along a line of thunderstorms. It's nighttime, so that makes it even more dangerous. We could have that heavy rainfall associated with some of these. And yes, a lot of heavy rain. You can see there on that camera that we just have pouring rain, frequent lightning, and now some rotation there. So notice here that this is our tornado warning. I'll go back to it to show you. I'll zoom in to show you that it does include DeKalb and Kane County, but it doesn't include the entire county. It is a confined area where we have this tornado warning, and right now including parts of Campton Hills, Virgil as well, and into Elburn, Novak Park, Geneva. This is where we're seeing some of that rotation at the moment. So I'll zoom in here to live Doppler 7 Max to show you that this is producing a lot of lightning, and we do have there, you can see that tornado warning is right in here. Let me move over a little bit so I can show you where we have this tornado warning. And for a lot of this, we have some very heavy rain associated with these storms pushing through and some very frequent lightning. So if you are in Campton Hills right now, you want to get to your safe space, this is where we do have that tornado warning. And I'll zoom out a little bit to show you that this is a very wide area. So you might be in the vicinity and thinking, it is pouring rain where I am, and it is very windy. It's best to stay inside. So we'll take a look outside. This is DeKalb. I-88, okay, so we have some heavy rain there. This line, wherever you are, and it's heading towards most of us, is going to produce this type of heavy rain, these gusty winds, and so we're going to end up seeing some damage from some of that wind. Again, right now we do have that tornado warning in effect until 10 p.m., so we got about another 30 minutes of this. So this is moving pretty fast. I'll zoom in here to show you the areas that are under that tornado warning. So this line of showers and thunderstorms is producing these little spin ups. So typically on velocity, we can tell sometimes when there are this very obvious rotation, but with this one, it's a line of some showers and thunderstorms where there could be a few areas within this that see some of that rotation. I'll check in with the National Weather Service here and see if they've had any updates so far. Nothing much other than some reports of winds up to 70 miles per hour. Some flash flooding associated with some of these storms as well. So that tornado warning still in effect for DeKalb and Kane counties. If you're just tuning in right now and you are wondering what's going on, we have a tornado warning for parts of DeKalb and Kane counties, and that is why we've been on here for the last about 5-10 minutes. So this line of showers and thunderstorms did trigger a couple of tornado warnings out to our west. It looked like our tornado potential was going down, but there are every now and then a few little spin ups that we see on our radar. That's why that line here. So if you can see, I'll zoom in. So if you're in St. Charles near Virgil, Campton Hills, I'll zoom in even a little bit further. This is 38, this is 64, this is Campton Hills, St. Charles, Geneva. So this is where the storm is headed. If you are here, make sure you're in your safe space. If you have your phone and you can watch us streaming, so take your phone with you to your safe space, which is in an interior room, maybe a bathroom, a closet. Just get into safety while this storm passes. Although there is not some of that rotation that is very obvious that we see sometimes, this storm is rotating. And we do have that strong wind coming through. So even if we don't have, let's say, a confirmed tornado from this, there is going to be some wind damage from this system, bringing in some very heavy rain and some very windy conditions. So a little bit of a recap to zoom out here and show you that we started off with this line of showers and thunderstorms that pretty much developed just to our north and west. So initially, in the early parts of the afternoon, it looked like there wasn't much going on, but we knew that this would likely fire up. So I'll loop here to show you that as we went through the evening, this really just fired up. So take a look behind me. There's not much going on around 6, 7 p.m. And then as I continue the loop here, it really fired up. And we are at a level 2 out of 5 for severe weather. And that chance for the spin up or two is possible. And we're seeing that now with that tornado warning. I'll stop here at the time that we're at now, which is 9:36, and show you that we are still under that tornado warning for St. Charles. If you are in St. Charles or in the area of St. Charles, just to the north, just to the south, if that makes sense to you, then just get into your safe space because this is moving in quickly. This is moving pretty fast. The National Weather Service issuing this tornado warning just a little bit ago because of this potential to see some rotation within some of these storms. So I'll go to velocity here to show you. So sometimes we have these areas where it's very obvious that there's rotation. I would say that right now that's not necessarily the case. In this case, this now is kind of looking like a wind issue, so straight line winds, but the National Weather Service keeping that tornado warning in effect, and right now it's in effect until 10 p.m. So it doesn't matter if this ends up being straight line winds or a tornado that goes on the ground. This is going to cause some damage because these greens and reds, these very, very bright greens like this, when it comes up like this on velocity, that is some very high wind, likely going to see gusts between about 60 and perhaps 80 miles per hour with some of these storms, especially right along this line here near Virgil. You likely could hear the rain coming in and the very windy conditions. This is along where we have that tornado warning. This is velocity. So right now, if you're in St. Charles, you have to take cover. And up next will be Elgin. You will also get some of the very windy conditions, but technically not within that tornado warning. It's also a very confined area where the National Weather Service has put that tornado warning. I'll zoom into it here just to show you once again where we have this tornado warning. Let's see. All right. Oh, Larry, you're here. So I don't know if you're seeing that confined rotation, but it's not so much. It's really just a line of some really strong winds. And of course, we could see a quick little spin up with some of that.
Yeah, hi. So we're watching it real closely near Elburn, and I've got the velocity data pulled up on our Weather 2 computer here. And I want to show you this here right along 38 and just to the west of 47 out here in Kane County is where we're watching this storm, which is just now moving off towards the east at a pretty rapid rate. But what you can see right here on the velocity data is how we've got these reds and greens kind of not in a straight line. They're kind of notched together right in this zone right here. And this is where we're still seeing some rotation within this area of the storm that's producing some very high winds and the possibility of some spin-up tornadoes along that line. So what I want at the velocity data and looking at some of these wind velocity measurements up around 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. These are just the winds that are being measured within the storm right now. Some of those winds are likely mixing down to the surface, and we're likely seeing winds at least 60 to maybe even 70 mile per hour winds here near Meredith up towards Virgil heading into the Elburn area. So again, this, but if you're in Elburn right now, Campton Hills, you need to be in your tornado safe area right now and let this storm pass on by, because the possibility is there for a tornado, but also the real possibility here is for winds upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour with this fast moving line of storms, which is moving pretty rapidly off towards the east. In fact, I'll just put the velocity data into motion and look at that bright green and kind of almost white shading that's now showing up on the radar. And I got a latest radar scan that just popped in here where the position of where that likely tornado is, if there's still one possibly spinning out of this. Right here where you see these really bright shades of, I guess they're not really green, they're kind of turquoise blue. And then we've also got the lighter shades of red. Right in this area here, there's still some rotation occurring. So this is now just to the east of Elburn, right along 38. And so if you're in Geneva, St. Charles, Batavia, take your tornado precautions now, get into that tornado safe room and let this storm pass overhead. The possibility is there for a brief tornado, but also likely what is happening is we're seeing some very high winds coming out of this storm, especially here around the Elburn area. In fact, I'll just do another kind of what we call an examination of how high the winds are. And just in this general area, we're seeing winds 60 to 70 miles per hour on the backside of this leading edge of the storm. So the real threat here is for some extremely high winds, almost hurricane force winds with this complex of storms, and embedded within those winds could be a spin up tornado as well. And when you switch back over to the reflectivity data, which is kind of the traditional view we show when we're looking at radar data, there's clearly an indication of a little notch and some rotation wrapped up right in this little zone right here. I'll highlight it for us with my little pointer, but right in this area here, you can kind of see there's just a little notch that's developed here, almost like a little hook that's developed on the leading edge of this thunderstorm. So right along the leading edge of the storm is where we're getting some very high winds and the possibility of that tornado spinning up with this storm as well. And not to leave out you folks in northern Kane County and up into McHenry County as we've got some really high winds along the leading edge of this storm as well. 60 to 70 mile per hour winds a possibility now pushing through the Woodstock area up towards Hampshire and getting close to Elgin as well. You're going to get hit with these high winds, but the immediate concern, Heisel, is this rotation that we're clearly seeing on the radar. And I'll go back to that velocity data, and it's not a traditional hook echo where it kind of stands out on its own, but it's certainly signs that we're getting this rotation center right in this general zone along 38. And again, if you're in Geneva, Batavia, you've got just a few minutes here to let this storm pass on by and just take your tornado precautions, get your family into the safe room, grab the pets, take them down to the basement if you have a basement. If no basement, go to a small interior room and let this storm pass on by. We've got a new severe thunderstorm warning for DuPage County. And if this rotation looks like it's going to continue, we'll probably get the tornado warning continued into parts of DuPage County. So if you're out towards Wheaton, West Chicago, you need to be prepared that the possibility you go under tornado warning is there as this storm moves off towards the east. Back to you, Heisel.
Yeah, so that area that you were pointing out, just wanted to let you know that law enforcement is reporting a funnel cloud formation right around Route 38 and Pooley in the Elburn area. They are sheltering there. But yeah, this is the area that you were talking about. And in the last several scans, you can really start to see some of that rotation. Earlier I was talking about how not necessarily initially when this was issued you could see it, but now you can see that. So if you're in Campton Hills near Geneva, it is a good idea to get into your safe space because we are now seeing some of that rotation. I've circled here where we're seeing some of that red and green come together, as Larry was pointing out to us in the last several scans, that we're now starting to see a bit there of some rotation. So likely going to have either some wind damage or potentially some damage from what could be a tornado. But again, right now we haven't gotten any specific reports of that, but law enforcement in Kane County saying that they are reporting a funnel cloud formation near Route 38 and Pooley in the Elburn area. Larry?
Yeah, Heisel, that's a good report to see, or not to not to say it's good to see, but the trained officials that we have out there and our storm spotters, even though it's dark outside, they're trained to look for funnel clouds, descending clouds from a storm. When we get lightning flashes, it's their way to see the visibility of what's going on underneath these storms. And you combine that with the radar presentation that we're seeing with those eyewitness accounts, it kind of verifies the need for this tornado warning and the likely continuation of the tornado warning as it moves off towards the east as well. But this really pronounced rotation that we're seeing right here, where clearly see this little curvature that's going on right in this general zone, that's where the rotation is at its maximized zone, and certainly the possibility of where there's a tornado that could be spinning up within that area as well. And I switch back to velocity data here, and you can see we still have those brighter shades of red. Here's the latest update. Now we're marker here right over St. Charles now. So again, St. Charles, Geneva, safe spot is where you need to be. Get into your safe room and let this storm pass overhead. We're just getting an update on the outline of the tornado warning. You see the red box flashing on my map here. So it's been trimmed a little bit. If you're in Virgil and Caneville, you're no longer in the tornado warning, but you folks over here from Batavia, especially up towards Geneva and St. Charles, Novak Park, you're right now in the worst of this storm with some extremely high winds and the possibility of a tornado coming through along with these high winds. So you want to be in that safe room if you're in St. Charles and Geneva, and if you're anywhere here towards the DuPage County line, you need to be in that safe room and let the storm pass on by. Just looking at the velocity data that we're seeing here, the winds are estimated to be up around 60 to 60, 70 mile per hour wind gust within the storm itself. And what these measurements are, when we show here, for example, velocity of 72 miles per hour, that's our radar detecting how fast raindrops are moving within the thunderstorm itself. So we can track how fast these raindrops are moving, which gives us an estimate of just how high the winds are. So we're getting winds within the storm itself up around 72 miles per hour, and that indicates there are some really high winds within the storm itself, and oftentimes those winds can make their way down to the ground level and produce some strong straight line winds. And then obviously when we see the rotation that we're seeing with the current radar being detected right now, there's the concern for a tornado with this portion of the storm as well. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and put this all in motion because these storms are moving fast. In fact, this is just a 1 hour loop, and you can see they've traveled almost 60 miles or so in about an hour. So they're moving really rapidly off towards the east, and they'll sweep through DuPage County here in the next hour or so. You're going to get some very high winds, very heavy rain, lots of lightning. Not only will we have a concern for a tornado continuing off over St. Charles and Geneva right now, but also into parts of DuPage County. We may go under a tornado warning if you're in West Chicago, out towards Wayne, Wheaton, Bloomingdale, Carroll Stream. The possibility is there. You may go under a tornado warning as the storm continues to move off towards the east. And we also have severe thunderstorm warnings continuing to the north, up into parts of northern Kane County. The good news here, up into the northern suburbs, the severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for McHenry County has expired, and there are no new warnings up here in the northern suburbs. But of course, we're mostly concerned with the winds that are being generated by this line of storms from Kane County back into southern DeKalb County, and really in particular this long-lasting sign of rotation that we've seen for a good hour or so. I was tracking it back to the west of I-39. It kind of weakened a little bit, but it's really tightened up here in the latest 45 minutes or so as it's tracked right through Kane County right now. And again, looking at that velocity data, it's clearly right over Geneva, St. Charles, and then stretching down towards Batavia as well. You're likely going to get some high winds from this particular storm as it moves off towards the east. Now, I want to also check out the hail reports as well. There isn't a lot of hail with these storms. At least we haven't gotten a lot of reports of hail, but there is the possibility of some small hail falling back towards Campton Hills at this point with the storm that's coming through. So we've got a lot of wind, a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning as well. These storms are putting on a huge lightning show out here to the west. And if you're in Chicago looking out to the western sky, there's a tremendous amount of lightning in the horizon off to the west. You know, oftentimes people will say that's heat lightning. There's no such thing as heat lightning. Lightning is just lightning from a storm that's far away and you don't hear the thunder. And oftentimes it happens during the summertime months, so it gets the name of heat lightning, but it's actually a thunderstorm in the distance that you're seeing the lightning from. from. So again, we've got the concern here for a tornado within this line of storms that's marching rapidly off towards the east. Heisel, what's the speed on this one? I haven't checked the latest update. Do you have a speed on these right now?
East at about 35 miles per hour is the way that they're moving. So
35?
Yeah, I have a tracker here.
Yeah,
if we
okay,
want to
so
pull
let's
up.
track the leading edge of this storm right here. And we'll just track this into DuPage County here as it moves east at about 35. So if you're in West Chicago out towards Wheaton about 10:05, Bloomingdale at 10:10, Addison around 10:17, and North Aurora here in the next few minutes or so is when the leading edge of the storm will arrive. And once the storm hits you, the winds will pick up, the rain will start to come down pretty intensely too. A tremendous amount of moisture in the atmosphere today will help fuel these intense thunderstorms that'll produce some very heavy downpours. Heisel?
Yeah, so right now the latest reports from the National Weather Service, of course we keep up with this. This is all preliminary as some of these reports start to come in. So we have a trained weather spotter reporting a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust in St. Charles, and now also seeing reports of a tree down on a house and cars. That's in Burlington. So some very gusty winds associated with this, obviously, and then seeing that rotation. And as we time this out, you can see that you can almost see a little bit of a hook. That's where we're seeing some of the rotation from. I'll go to velocity to show you that at the moment we are still seeing that tornado warning, and it's likely that they're going to extend it. Right now it's until 10 p.m. So if you're just watching us here, if you're just tuning in because you're maybe starting to hear some of the rumbles of thunder and you're wondering what's going on, we do have several severe thunderstorm warnings in the area from this system, but particularly right now we're focusing in on this tornado warning for Kane County. This is until 10 p.m. because we initially had a line of showers and thunderstorms. It looked like there was some broad rotation, but where there could have been some rotation along the line, but then now starting to see some obvious rotation here on velocity. So I'll zoom into where we're thinking that we are seeing some of that rotation. And in the last about 30 minutes, really seeing that near Campton Hills and now towards St. Charles. And this is continuing to push east. So if you are in Lakewood, West Chicago, Carroll Stream, this is a good time to go into your safe space because this storm is rotating and we're obviously seeing that on velocity. Sometimes it's not obvious, but right now we are starting to see that, and some very, very gusty winds associated with this. The green colors that you see here, Larry, did you see that last loop of near West Chicago? You can see, so our radar is continuing to scan, and that latest scan looking a little more concerning near West Chicago, where we're seeing some of that rotation near Lakewood as well. So this is continuing to push east, and right now we do have a tornado warning for Kane County. Where we have some of these green and red colors, this is where we're seeing some of that rotation. So right along West Chicago, along 38, near Wayne Center as well, and also continuing to push near Glendale Heights, Wheaton. This is where we're seeing, this is ahead of the storm. So moving very fast. Right now, the National Weather Service has it at about 35 miles per hour, maybe a little bit faster than that, because in the last hour, we've really seen this move quickly. St. Charles right now, still stay in your safe place. We are still seeing some rotation in that area. West Chicago, Wayne Center, and then continuing to push east eventually near Wheaton, Glendale Heights, Bloomingdale. This is where we're seeing some of that rotation along that line, and we do have that tornado warning. Larry, how are you feeling about this last scan that we got?
Yeah, Heisel, it looks like the rotation may have weakened a little bit in terms of broadened itself out. And when I say that, I mean that the actual tightness of the rotation is kind of loosening a little bit. And when you see the rotation tighten up, that's when you get more concern for a tornado. When it kind of broadens out a little bit, still the risk of some very high winds and even a brief tornado as well. But the tightness of that rotation is not quite as significant as it was over the last scan or so. But just to go over the warnings again, the tornado warning for Kane County goes until 10 o'clock. We've got a flash flood warning for Kane County as well because of the heavy rain that's falling. We're talking rainfall rates 1 to 2 inches per hour with this thunderstorm. That flash flood warning for Kane County goes until 1:45 in the morning. And then the severe thunderstorm warning for DuPage County, which you see just flashing on the map here, goes until 10:30. So I've got the velocity data pulled up, and this is the best way I can show you where the rotation is and also where the high winds are located. And right there, as Heisel was mentioning, just passing through Geneva and St. Charles, getting close to West Chicago right now. In fact, it's pretty much over West Chicago, up towards the Wayne area, is one zone where we've got some really high winds embedded within this thunderstorm itself as well. And then also behind where you see the reds and greens together, this area back here where we've got a lot of kind of brighter shades of almost turquoise blue right in this area right here. These are some very high winds that are coming across from west to east here across Kane County. And in this zone here, the potential is for some winds, likely upwards of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds in this general zone here. So even behind the initial gust of stormy weather that pushes through, so you get that initial burst of heavy rain and some high winds, even behind where the initial rain is, there are still some very intense winds embedded within the rain that's coming down within this storm. In fact, I'll switch back over to the radar reflectivity mode, and even back here where you can see back in this general zone, it may not appear as to be quite as heavy of a rainfall right in this area right through here. This is all still have some very high winds embedded within this thunderstorm. And of course, right up in this general area where we've got the curvature that you see on the leading edge of the storm, this is where we're getting an outflow of some high winds coming into West Chicago right now. And there is still the possibility, and we see it on the radar right in this general spot where there is still some rotation being picked up by the radar that could spawn a tornado up towards the Wayne area and down towards the West Chicago area as well. So although we don't have an official tornado warning issued for DuPage County, the biggest concern right now is for some very high winds coming into DuPage County and the possibility still of a brief spin-up tornado. Now, you're in the thick of it right now across Kane County, and as I zoom out a little bit, I'll just kind of reset ourselves here to give you an overview, because the only warnings we have right now are severe thunderstorm warnings for Kane and DuPage County, and that small area where we've got a tornado warning for parts of Kane County as well. Storms to the north, not severe. They're making a lot of noise for you up in Cary, up towards Algonquin, over Woodstock. A lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning. Same can be said in southern DeKalb County, back off towards the east. Those storms are making quite a noise for you with a lot of lightning and thunder and very, very heavy rain. But the only portion of this line that's severe is this part of the storm that's now moving into southern parts of Kane County and crossing into DuPage County as we speak. So you folks, again, in St. Charles, Geneva, down towards West Chicago, eventually over towards the Wheaton area, the possibility is there for some winds upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour as this storm blows on through, and still the concern for a brief tornado. We've got about another 4 minutes for the tornado warning. Again, that expires at 10 o'clock, so we'll see if it gets continued into DuPage County. At this point, from what I'm seeing on the velocity data, it doesn't appear like there's a clear sign of rotation right now. There is, or I should say, a tight rotation. There is still clearly rotation going on, and I'll highlight it again on this particular velocity data right in this zone here. There is still a little bit of rotation being depicted by the radar. And again, our radars are so sensitive at picking up the motion of raindrops in the atmosphere and in these thunderstorms that we can detect what direction those raindrops are moving, either towards or away from the radar, and that gives us an idea of where we're seeing spin within the storm itself. And right in that zone there is where there's still a little broad rotation showing up, but of greater concern is for a large area of high winds spreading across Kane County and DuPage County. I'm talking winds upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour within this storm itself. And again, these are moving east at about 35 miles per hour. So I'm going to switch back over to the radar, traditional radar mode, and I'm going to track the leading edge of these storms as they move through DuPage County. If you're in Aurora right now, the winds are going to be picking up very shortly, and the rain's going to pick up as well. But as I track these off towards the east, if you're in Naperville, in about 6 minutes, you're going to get hit with the leading edge of these, or I should say about 10 minutes or so, you're going to see the leading edge of these storms blow on through with a burst of wind and then torrential downpours and then more wind while it's raining pretty heavily over your area. And we're talking winds that'll probably last in the order of about 30 minutes in any one spot, and winds that could gust upwards of 60 miles per hour in that 30-minute time frame. Downers Grove about 10:16, Maywood at 10:28, then all the way into Cicero here in Cook County at about 10:36. Wheaton, you've got just a few minutes as well for the arrival of that leading edge of the storms to push on through. Obviously, if you have a look out to the western horizon, you can see all the lightning that's occurring with these storms. There's a tremendous amount of lightning ongoing with these thunderstorms. I'll switch over to the lightning mode here, and I'll just zoom out a little bit and put all these lightning strikes into motion, because there's a tremendous lightning storm going on with this line of storms that's sweeping off towards the east. Hi, so I know we're getting close to 10 o'clock right now. Has the Weather Service updated us on whether or not they'll continue the tornado warning into DuPage County?
Yeah, at the moment they have not updated us just yet. Really all we've gotten is that DuPage County Airport in West Chicago has gusted to 70 miles per hour, and that was just here in the last few minutes. So that's what we were talking about, and what you were saying, that some of this really strong wind is pushing through some of these areas along this very strong line. So expect it to continue to push east and get closer to downtown Chicago in the next about 45 minutes. We still have that tornado warning, and so far, Larry, I have not heard anything from the National Weather Service on whether or not they're going to continue this, but it is set to expire in just about 15 seconds. So we'll see if they extend it or if they do choose to continue that tornado warning, where we were seeing some rotation, but now it's looking like a wind issue. Oh, it looks like they did go ahead and expire that, Larry. I know you have velocity up there, and you can see that that red box has been dropped by the National Weather Service. So they have let that expire, so that tornado warning no longer in effect. Now it is a severe thunderstorm warning, and that severe thunderstorm warning is going to continue to push that gusty wind towards the lakefront. We'll talk more about your forecast here and what we expect from this line of storms here coming up in just a little bit.
Live from Chicago, ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 10 starts right now.
Good Thursday morning, last day of July. It's Wednesday, hump day. We are making our way through this year, and we are making our way through another heat advisory. You know, we started the month of July with the heat advisory. We're ending it with the heat advisory. So no stranger for us to be prepared for this type of a forecast, right? We're used to it, unfortunately. The fortunate thing is that today we are going to see some AM coastal showers, and by the afternoon hours, any storms that do develop will be well west. We're seeing that Saharan dust still lingering, so if you have respiratory issues, limit your time outdoors. As for temperatures, we're in the mid to upper 70s and low to mid 80s. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Key West, it is warm, 84 degrees. I think we'll be flirting with a warm record low. Winds moving off the ocean, bringing that heat and humidity with feels like temperatures about 10 degrees warmer than where our air temperature is reporting. So you can feel the heat and humidity this morning with that Saharan dust. Limited rain chances today, our driest day of the week. Tomorrow will stay dry too, and then all eyes on that disturbance that the National Hurricane Center is watching, stating it really won't become something until it moves over southeastern half of the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos. And so our area that we're watching is two things. One, the European model and the GFS model. This could be a tropical depression forming as we go into the weekend. Mainly just some showers and storms for us. We have to continue to monitor it because the models are not in agreement of what it will become, since it hasn't become anything yet. But I can tell you, enjoy your Wednesday and the last day of July.
Talk to you in just a little bit. We got to get into this. This is a massive wedge tornado that's just taken over an entire interstate. I've never seen anything like this. We're going to come back, check with you. I know you're chasing this as well, and there has been sadly major damage out of this, and so we'll check in with you. Thank you for all the hard work. We got to get into this, team, and look at this if we can. Yeah, let's start telestrating over and showing you Brett Adair. This is now in Harlan, Iowa. We were showing you that city. It was just to the west of there. Look at this. This thing right here that you're witnessing in front of you is a tornado. I know it's tough to even fathom. While talking to Corey, look at by the way, in the foreground, the wind speed. You see this SUV that's kicking up the water. If we can drop the banner, team, real quickly. Destructive tornado is tearing through Nebraska. Look at how fast the wind is spitting that off the road. That's speaking to the violent nature this far removed from the tornado. Imagine being in that tornado, though, and what's ahead of this.
Steve, look at that tree ahead of that car and how it's leaning.
It's just snapped right to the side. Ken, I don't know even how to talk about this right now. We're looking at this on telly. This right here is showing you how wide. So it goes from here to here. All of this in between is a tornado, a wedge tornado that is coming down as of right now. And as we zoom in, look at this. This is showing you that inflow and how the wind is just getting sucked in like a vacuum. I mean, I've never seen anything this large before. And it's tough to fathom that this would be classified as a tornado. I mean, it's much larger. You think, I mean, when we had this estimated before, 3 to 4 miles, you can tell the traffic has stopped here. Everybody has been forced to stop. They do not want to get any closer to this because of the intensity of the wind. Notice the debris right here. This is why they're stopping, is because the debris that this has already caused, and it's raking it across the road and spitting it through. I want you to look right in here. This is in the mid levels of the atmosphere, just showing you how fast the wind is wrapping around and circulating around this. Again, you can witness as this SUV pulls ahead. See how fast the wind is carrying that water off of the roads? Everybody at home, you may not be able to fathom a tornado, but you can fathom what it's been like to drive after rain is pushed through, and the water usually spits up into your windshield. You don't even have to use the windshield because the wind's carrying it away. And we are talking about how massive a distance away we are from this event. Can we bring up the radar? Can you measure, Sam? I see you have Brett there. Can you measure how far away he is from the tornado so we can talk about how fast the wind is from this distance away? Now, look in the foreground here. This is where you're starting to worry about potential damage. You have this tree that no longer has any type of branches or leaves. If you look at the trees around it, it does, which means this got sucked away and ripped apart as this tornado came through. They're still blowing, even though it's moving off into the distance.
Right, late breaking, and first here at 4 o'clock this afternoon, the National Weather Service has confirmed that it found evidence of a tornado in Tulsa. Good afternoon, I'm Brian Dorman.
And I'm Shannon Russo. Though the remnants of that storm are long gone, as we have a beautiful Veterans Day today. Meteorologist Stacia Knight is in the Bob Mills Weather Center with the latest look at our weather. Stacia?
Hey guys, the National Weather Service has been out all day surveying damage across parts of Tulsa, and they don't have a rating out for us just yet, but they can confirm part of the track is coming in as tornado damage, and that was from Woodward Park over to Utica Square. So this area here in Midtown Tulsa, from Riverside over to about Utica, almost Lewis, has been confirmed as a tornado. Now the track, though, based on radar estimate, and last night we were having that signature of debris being lofted into the air. So most likely they will continue a tornado track across Midtown, maybe over towards TU and the fairgrounds. That track, though, again, this is radar estimated now, just north of the fairgrounds, continuing east over into East Tulsa, across 169 and out towards about I-44 in Garnett, and then along Highway 412 out towards 193rd East Avenue. We have damage reports all across the area today, some of it from straight line winds and some of it, of course, from tornado damage. So as the National Weather Service continues to look at more damage, and they'll give us updates to the total track length, the path width, how long it was on the ground, and of course, the rating, how strong it was.
I do want to bring in Marielle now. I kind of skipped to your graphic there, Marielle. I don't want to steal your thunder, but you're talking about what's happening around the rest of the nation here. And again, storms that have been hit other areas very hard are going to get hit again today.
Yeah, unfortunately, Greg. And, you know, Arkansas, one of those areas that was heavy hit just over last weekend. Now they're under a tornado watch. It's all part of the same system that's moving through our area right now. On the northern end of this large system, there are blizzard warnings with winter weather there, but wind advisories ahead of that main line, extending anywhere from the Great Lakes south along the Mississippi into Louisiana, eastern Texas. Again, this is all in front of the approaching long line of showers and storms. So Greg was talking about this area right here in North Texas, but this is all part of a very long line. You see all of those yellow boxes that indicates a separate severe thunderstorm warning, and there were several of tornado warned storms in northern Arkansas just within the last few hours. So definitely in areas to be watching. This is a very, very volatile system. And of course, this will continue to trek towards the east. Eventually behind it, dry air pushing in, and that's what's causing all the wind. But later today, as the system continues to trek east, we kind of see the tail end of it because it does ramp up as it heads anywhere from Memphis towards Cincinnati into areas of the southern Great Lakes there. And that again happens throughout the rest of the day today. Meanwhile, we dry out. We're going to see that these storms really ramp up around midday for areas of Ohio towards the Great Lakes. And then eventually the south will be under that threat as we head into the evening hours. So a very long day with these severe storms across the country. We'll be watching it here just over the next several hours, and of course we'll keep you updated. Mark.
All right.
Well, hi there, everyone. From the Fox 13 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Ilona McCauley. We're going to be starting off with a few scattered showers as we get into the afternoon hours. More widespread rainfall expected for overnight tonight ahead of an approaching cold front. Take a look. The heaviest rainfall will be in the southwest interior as well as along the coastline. But as the front moves through, the rain is going to be picking up overnight tonight. By tomorrow, as the cold front is going to be exiting, it's going to turn more showery in nature. So we're going to continue to see scattered areas of rainfall, some snow up in the higher elevations, especially up in the North Cascades. And that's going to be the general trend right on through tomorrow night. We've got another storm system headed our direction for Thursday, likely bringing some rainfall chances for the home opener for the Mariners on Thursday evening. Looking at the rainfall totals in the next 24 hours, anywhere from about a quarter of an inch up around Whidbey Island to a half an inch of rainfall in Everett, a little bit more, around 0.6 of an inch as you get into downtown Seattle, and looking for about 0.6 of an inch there in Tacoma. Up at around the Cascades, we're going to be forecasting a couple inches of snow. That's great news, not only for the snowpack, but it will also keep the chances for some of our springtime skiing going at least for another couple of weeks. So enjoy. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. Breezy and wet for both Wednesday and Thursday, but heading into Easter weekend, looking much better. Sunnier skies will be ahead by as early as Saturday. High temperatures on Easter Sunday will be right around 60 degrees, and then sunshine continuing right on into Tuesday.
Good Monday evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Claire Anderson in the Fox 13 Weather Center. It has been a wet and gusty day here to begin our June. We are seeing two atmospheric river events pushing into the Pacific Northwest. Our first one was overnight into today through about early Monday. We saw some heavy rain. Our second round of this atmospheric moisture will move in tonight into Tuesday, so more rain is in store. As we look at our forecast for tonight, we do have a wind advisory in effect until Tuesday at 11 a.m. Through this evening, southwest winds 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusts near 45 miles per hour. We are expecting some of our strongest wind gusts after midnight and especially into the north interior. As we head into tomorrow, we will see rain totals again over 1.5 inches for the Olympics, out towards the Cascades up to 1 inch, as well as out along the coast. And we could see up to 0.5 inch around the lowlands, again, in addition to what we've already seen so far. Looking at the live Doppler radar, we have been seeing a few more sun breaks this afternoon along with scattered showers. Potential rumble of thunder is still possible for this evening. Rainfall totals impressive, especially up towards Arlington, about 1.3 inches of rain just from today, and that was due to a convergence zone earlier today. Almost 1/4 inch for SeaTac, just over 1/3 for Seattle. A little bit less rain today compared to yesterday's rainfall totals, but we still have more rain in the forecast for this evening. Futurecast, we do see again a little bit of a rain break for tonight, and through about 7 o'clock, you see a bit of a convergence zone up there. Into later this evening, we start to see more showers with it, heavier showers pushing through overnight into early tomorrow. That's going to be that strongest wave, and then we see scattered showers through the day on Tuesday, tapering as we head into Tuesday later in the evening with drier skies by Wednesday. We do have a wind advisory in effect for most of western Washington, 15 to 25 miles per hour, gust up to 40 miles per hour again through Tuesday morning. We are looking at those wind gusts continuing to peak with those stronger winds later tonight into early tomorrow morning. As we look at our forecast for the extended, low 60s for tomorrow, still breezy and wet, drying out with upper 60s to low 70s for Thursday. Warmer and drier conditions into the weekend.
Now, 2 News Oklahoma weather.
Storms in the area that will be with us brewing right now, but really starting to get going as we go into the later part of the afternoon and into the evening hours. Latest timeline updates is what we're looking at. 4 p.m. to about 7 p.m. to our far westernmost counties. Here for Tulsa, it's looking to be in that time frame about 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. For this evening. And then further south, you're looking at 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. From this morning until about 20 minutes ago, there have been some upgrades, and that is not looking good. That is a level 4 out of 5 for a potentially stronger storm. This just issued by the Storm Prediction Center. That is a moderate, again, risk for that severe weather development. So that's where they're sensing the bullseye of the severe weather will be. And yes, that does encompass us right here in Tulsa, all the way down to Oklahoma City and towards the Ardmore area. Again, this is for late this afternoon and into the evening hour. Here's what we're looking at now. Hail will be upwards of about 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches, that is softball in size. Winds 70 to 80, that went up because of this upgrade. And tornadoes, which was singular, is now plural, will be likely. All modes of severe weather are on the table. Make sure you have multiple ways to stay weather aware. Hail index, this is what we're looking at where you're seeing that moderate risk. That's indicating where we could see baseball to softball size hail. Outside of that, you're looking at that red threat. That is indicating where we could see anywhere between more of a tennis ball to baseball size hail. So hail will be very large and very destructive as we go throughout the afternoon and evening. Wind outlook for this evening. Again, we're in that 15th percentile for that damaging wind threat. Wouldn't be surprised if we see some destructive thunderstorm warnings issued as we go into the later part of the evening hours, something we will continue to monitor. And that isolated tornado threat is also with us. So we do have that about a 10% chance, as you can see, that yellow indicating where they're seeing the higher opportunity for that tornado threat to develop later on today. Timing this out for you as we go into the later part of the afternoon. Could see some showers. We do have some warm air aloft, and that's that cap. Until we break that cap, that's not going to allow any severe weather to develop. So right now, latest models showing about 6, 7 o'clock here for our location. Tulsa before 8 o'clock is what we're looking at for that stronger storm to develop, and then pushing just off to the east. We will see some cooler air rolling in behind that, and we'll notice the effects for tomorrow. It's 74 here for Tulsa. Dew points definitely in that spring mode at 63 at this time.
Probably right there in the middle of a bunch of rain right now. Jobin, give me an update, buddy. I see the wind blowing around a little bit, but the tornado warning has been canceled. Go ahead, take it away, Jobin.
Yeah, considerable wind. I don't know what you can see right now, but yeah, considerable wind. The rain has definitely come down. People here at this hotel are thinking about getting in their cars. I'm telling them, no, you should probably wait this out. They're just saying, I just need to go across the street to get some food. Your security is way more important than getting some food right now, so I told them to sit and wait. The wind definitely starting to pick up here just a little bit. I'm telling people you should probably get inside. Thankfully, we're under this little overhang here, so we're out of the elements. But again, the wind definitely kicking up here in Allen. Thankfully, again, we are in a safe place under this overhang. A lot of the people are also still on these roads. Again, that has always been a concern here at Bethany and 75.
Okay.
This is a main drag here through Allen. You can hear the sirens going off, but I think you're telling me here that the tornado warning has been shifted off. But again, the wind and the rain is still here.
Yeah, Jobin, the tornado warning has been canceled. That's great news. I don't know who your photog is. Can we take a look around to just let people see what's happening kind of behind you to your left and also to your right? Let's just kind of do just a little bit of a view with that tornado warning that has been canceled right now. We still have an intense thunderstorm. We still are looking at winds. I'm getting reports in Collin County of some golf ball size hail, not in your area right now. But as we continue to look, I can see the rain is falling. That's welcome news because of the severe drought. The other good news is the tornado warning has been canceled for Jobin's location. Malini Basu, she's up in Collin County. Malini, give us an update on, oh, there we are. Tell me where you're located, and we can see the storm right there.
Yeah, and you know, Pete, I got to tell you, we just drove through that storm, but look, right over here, this is in Frisco off of 121. Look at how dark it is. You can see lightning right there, and then look directly to the right of me. We're here at the Living Spaces parking lot, and you can see the sunshine. And as we were driving, Matt McNew and I, we just drove through that torrential downpours, and literally just 30 seconds later, here you are. It looks like the sun is ready to shine. But here, we just saw people running out of the Living Spaces parking lot, sunny on one side, and Matt, if you could show us right here, the clouds above the living space, you can see how dark it is. and move over to the right, it gets darker. You can see the sun kind of wants to peek out, and you see the lightning over here. So this is what it looks like right now in Frisco off of 121. And so Pete, I'll send things back to you.
We're going to keep that shot up for just a second. We still are showing some rotation right now. We did have a report of almost a 50-mile-per-hour wind in McKinney as part of this storm moved through. But to the north of you right now, I mean, look at the trees there. I mean, it's just kind of strangely calm with everything
You can probably
that's
hear the
going
ambulance
on.
right there.
But we do have some
storm sirens.
sirens are going off.
The storm sirens, you hear it. You'll have to forgive me. You hear the sirens.
Nope, I hear them. Yeah, and
You can
that's
hear
what's
the
taking
sirens right
place
there,
all
yeah.
across North Texas is the storm sirens are going off right now. And once again, I've mentioned this a number of times throughout the evening hours. You know, back in the day, these were tornado sirens. They haven't been tornado sirens in years. They are now officially called storm sirens because they're sounded not only for tornadoes, but for wind, damaging wind, and also for large hail. So that's why they're being sounded right now. Frisco is under a severe thunderstorm warning for large hail and wind, but you head up north of there, up to Prosper and Salina, and you were under a tornado warning for a tornado. So Malini, that's what we're seeing right now. Have you had a chance to talk to anyone to see if they're hearing anything?
Yeah, you know, actually, as a matter of fact, Pete, when we just pulled up to this parking lot here in Frisco, we saw probably 10 people running out of that living spaces. Actually, look, Matt, if you could show, there were people actually in that living spaces when the rain came down. They were just tucked away watching the storm. But I tell you, that was fast and it was furious. And thankfully, Matt McNew just driving us through the storm here. We did get a little bit of cell phone video and you could barely see. I mean, it was just foggy. I mean, take a listen to this. You can hear the sirens here in Frisco. Yeah, I mean, it looks sunny on one end and literally just, if you turn the camera around, you see it is dark. I mean, it's pretty frightening for not knowing exactly, you know, what the storm sirens are, or what could happen next, but we're definitely staying in a safe space over here. We just got off the phone with Kaylee as well, but you can see the lightning right there. And then if I can just show you to the right of us, right off of Coit Road, you can see it looks pretty clear right there. So we're showing you kind of like Plano to the right of us. And literally, if we just pan over, it's dark clouds. You see nothing but lightning over here. And you see some folks there watching from their car. Windy. And we see some cars actually backed up right there in that Living Spaces parking lot watching the storm itself.
Yeah, so, you know.
Yeah, it is dark. It is dark. You see that, Pete?
Yeah, and Malini, what I'm looking at
and now
there,
it looks like it's getting lighter. Yeah.
It is the lowering of a wall cloud is what that most likely is right now with that thunderstorm, and we still have the tornado warning. So let's see, that's at 121 in Custer. I'm just orienting myself here. So
yeah, Coit. Yeah, Coit Road right now. It's Coit. 121 and Coit.
121 and Coit, not Custer. So
yeah, in Frisco.
Okay. So I see exactly. I know exactly where you're talking about. So farther to the north. So your area, the concern is straight line winds. Farther north, up around Prosper and Salina, and even Weston. That's where I'm concerned about a tornado. Those are going to be straight line winds there. And can you tell me, are you looking? What direction is that camera pointed? Do you know?
So hold on, I'm actually going to pull up my compass right now. Just bear with me.
Nope,
Just
you're
downloaded
good.
the app the other day. Now I'm just looking at the compass right over here. If I could find it on my phone in the app, that would be helpful. We're trying to figure out what direction we're in, Matt. Hang on a second.
I'm pointing north.
So Matt's actually pointing north to the camera. You can see. I just want to show you real quick, Pete. There's a bunch of people pulled up in that parking lot over there. Maybe we could kind of walk over to them right after this and talk to them to see if they saw anything or what made them drive down towards this end. So we're pointing like northeast right now. Okay. And Pete, if you didn't get a chance, we're here at the Living Spaces parking lot.
Okay. Nope.
This is in Frisco.
I know exactly where you are right now, and you are looking toward the area. At this point, you're looking in that area that I'm concerned about. So where you are in Frisco, if you're looking north-northeast, you're in essence looking toward Weston, Texas. Now, from your location to Weston, as the crow flies, it's probably, maybe 10 miles or so. But, in Texas, you can see a long ways, and you certainly can there. Okay. And so as you're looking up into that thunderstorm, that very well may be the thunderstorm that we're looking at that does have rotation with that. So I believe that is the thunderstorm that we are concerned about that does have rotation in the northern part. Malini, don't go anywhere. Jason, put the radar up and come out to me here in the chroma key.
Sandy River yesterday, and it was pretty busy. Lots of folks trying to cool off.
How was the water temperature?
It was chilly, but honestly, after a couple minutes in the sun, it felt so nice.
I bet. Yeah. Good to know. Yeah, I mean, we're going to keep this heat. It is floating season, but wear the life vest, keep an eye on each other in your group, and be very safe out there, but have fun. It was a nice weekend to hit some of those local lakes and our local rivers and all of the heats. There's a peek right over Vancouver right now and looking at the Columbia River and the I-5 bridge from our Riverview Bank camera there. So that sun shining out there, 70 degrees right now, and we'll likely bump towards the mid-70s in the next couple of hours as we head towards lunchtime. Look at that, our noon forecast, 88 degrees. So temperatures warming fast as we head into our day today. And the valley back under mild conditions this morning. We're in the mid-60s to about 70 degrees here in Portland. The coast still seeing some of that marine cloud layer shifting in, some patchy areas of fog as well. But again, it is just a warm start here inland and in the Willamette Valley with lots of strong sunshine just setting up across our morning now. Now, the coast will still be a great spot here to head to and cool off. If you have the time, not a bad place to be. We'll still see some summery temperatures from Astoria to Seaside in the mid-upper 70s. Tillamook a little warmer back in the lower 80s, and Lincoln City further southward mid-60s. But afternoon sunshine, just gorgeous conditions out there and a little cooler than inland when we are expecting the low triple digits. Temperatures warming up. We'll see peak heating of this heat wave today and Tuesday. So 102 in Portland, maybe Salem, 103 degrees. Now, we did break record highs over the weekend, and since Friday, we've had 3 days of record-breaking heat. Sunday was that first day we cracked the triple digits, and again, we'll do it today and also throughout tomorrow, all thanks to this strong area of high pressure that has been locked in right over the area here. So we'll see that ridge right across the west coast. So our heating today boosting again into the low triple digits. We stay that way through our day tomorrow. However, this ridge of high pressure does shift towards the east. So we'll start to cool down a bit. And when I say cool down, I mean we'll drop temperatures away from the triple digits. That high pressure shifting towards the central parts of the U.S. where we'll see a lot of heat out there. But in Portland, a little bit of relief on the way. We still have high pressure setting up across the entire week. So our pattern is still a very dry, sunny, and summery one, but we'll likely say goodbye to the triple digits as we work our way into the next couple of days here. Really, Wednesday is that first day where we say goodbye to the 100-degree heat. So again, today, 102 degrees. Check out the west coast. Again, areas like Los Angeles, San Diego, so close to the ocean that they'll likely still stay in the 70s and 80s, a little cooler, but it's inland out towards the desert basin. Southwest, Las Vegas and Phoenix, again, 116 to 118 degrees, just incredible heat in that region. So for our area here, Portland, here's the temperature trend across the week. A couple more days here of this triple digit heat where we'll see record breaking temperatures. The current record today and tomorrow, 98 and 96 respectively. So we'll likely crush those records. And then Wednesday and beyond, those temperatures start to fall as this big dome of high pressure shifts eastward and out of the region. Now, again, we'll still keep temperatures in the 80s and the 90s, but that'll feel much better here than the triple digits. So, again, be careful these next couple of days. We'll see warm overnight lows. If you don't have air conditioning, you'll want to find ways to cool off. Be mindful of your pets and children out there, too. But full sunshine, we're going to keep it dry and finally seeing more normal temperatures here in the 80s and the 90s as we get our way into Wednesday and beyond.
Might be a good morning. With that said, let's switch gears and take a look outside with meteorologist Kelly Barron and Portland's most accurate forecast. Snow is the general story kind of right now.
It is, just an unsettled, kind of wacky and wintry week here. We're going to keep it pretty cold across the week, and cold enough for right on that edge here where we could bring down some snow showers at times. We already saw that in Beaverton briefly this morning. It didn't really stick, but we saw some flying around in the air because a very heavy shower brought down that cold air and mixed in some snow. So today we're going to keep it showery and pretty unsettled. We have a chance for thunderstorms too, but within some of these heavier rain showers, even this afternoon and tonight, we could see a rain snow mix developing. We're just that cold out there. So keep that in mind. Likely none of that snow sticking, but we're going to watch it very closely heading into these next couple of days. Your pet walk forecast, grab the rain jacket. Likely rain showers throughout the day today. Also some sun breaks, so we'll be dodging these showers all day. This is Ozzy, what a cutie, and having some fun out the window. Now take a look, getting some breaks, some blue skies even out over Portland, and raindrops out there too. So again, we're back under wet weather here with the showers scooting on by, and in that very heavy shower this morning, which is now well to the east, you can see those darker clouds out there. We could bring down maybe a rain snow mix or even some snowflakes at times. We're going to stay cold today, likely sitting in the mid 40s as we head our way into our afternoon. And again, on the radar, some of these heavy showers may be producing maybe some mixed showers too. So notice how these showers are heading towards the east. I-5 and the I-205 drive there, likely some wet roads out there. We're getting a little dry time behind this big band of showers here out to Hillsborough. A brief pause in some of the precipitation, but we'll keep a showery pattern going today. And again, some of the heavy showers could be cold enough to bring in a snow rain mix. There's all that snow for the mountains. That continues into today. So expect tough driving up there and winter driving conditions over the mountain passes. Here's our weather pattern. So in general, lots of cold air moving down into the region. We have this lobe or this upper level trough of low pressure here that's driving that cold air in. There's the jet stream bringing lots of cold temperatures in place. Midweek, we kind of warm up, that lobe shifts east, but then we get a second upper level trough of cold air that resets up as we head towards Friday and Saturday. So temperatures in general pretty much hovering close to freezing overnight. We will see a couple of mornings here today and tomorrow where our temperatures will likely hit the mid 30s. There's that warming towards the middle parts of the week, but then Friday morning into the weekend, we're cold again with temperatures around Portland dropping towards the mid 30s. That snow level at that 500-foot elevation means we could see some snow mixing down to those elevations. So very cold around the area here. And looking at our snow chances on the calendar, really looking at today and tomorrow for those mixed showers at times, and also heading into Friday and Saturday mornings, we could see cold enough conditions and low snow levels to bring down some snow showers. Now, the good news is I have pretty high confidence that any snow we see will likely melt on contact or really stick to grasses and up in the higher elevations, some of the hills around Portland. So in terms of our impacts from maybe some of these snow showers, likely pretty low. So not expecting a big citywide snow event, but again, a chance for some snow showers certainly possible this week. Here's our futurecast, and let's track out the rest of the day. Scattered rain showers mainly throughout the morning time. You'll want the rain jacket. This afternoon, we got a chance to bring back some heavy downpours, and it's within those downpours we could see some snow showers mixed in. We'll keep it cool today, really only hitting the lower to mid 40s. And as we head towards our morning tomorrow, there it is again, those mixed showers back in place as temperatures hover in the mid to upper 30s. So cold enough, really eyeing the evening and overnight hours when we are cold enough to bring back some snow showers again. So we're going to watch tomorrow morning closely. We could be cold enough to see maybe a dusting around Portland that melts very quickly, maybe a dusting on cars, and certainly seeing some dustings up in the hills, any elevations around 1,000 feet, including the West Hills, portions of East Clark County and East Multnomah County as well into the gorge. So again, wintry weather back in place, a little bit of dry time through the rest of Tuesday morning. Then we're under a warmer, rainier pattern as we head our way into the afternoon tomorrow. So quick look again at road impacts. I think they'll stay low, even though we have that chance for a few snow showers here and there. Tonight, moments of heavy rain, maybe some mixed snow in there too. And then tomorrow morning, we'll see maybe more hilltop snow dustings around, maybe some mixed showers in Portland, but likely just a wet morning for us as we head our way into Tuesday. So we'll keep our eyes on the forecast. Beware of these conditions and the cold out there. We'll track those snow showers closely.
Jamie Hudson has stepped in here with a look at what is ahead tonight. And I just looked over at your big board for the Timbers kickoff.
Yeah, the match tonight's going to be a hot one. So Timber fans, make sure to grab your water as you head out there, because at kickoff tonight, Lisa, still expecting to be in the mid-90s. That's at 7:30 as the Timbers hosting Nashville this evening over at Providence Park. Here are those daytime highs unofficially, because we could still see some warmer temps, but up and down the valley for the most part, reaching those triple digits today. Medford was at 112 yesterday, 108 today, a much cooler sight out there on our shoreline, especially as you head down the coast. Northern part of the coast still at 80 degrees up there in Astoria for today. But here's the interesting thing. Portland has now had 3 days in a row of breaking those daytime high records. So Friday, we came in at 99. Yesterday, our high 99. Today, with that 100-degree day, that's actually 5 degrees warmer than the previous record here. So on July 7th, back in 2010, the record was at 95 degrees. So yes, these last 3 days, we have set new records here in Portland for our afternoon highs, and it looks like it's going to be 5 straight days of records. As you check out the gray here, that's our forecasted high. In orange, those are the records. So as we head into Monday and Tuesday, still looking to get into the triple digits and still looking to break records. As Portland is holding steady at 100 degrees with the blue skies, we continue into our evening and not expecting to get much cooler even by 11 p.m. Still looking to be in the low 80s across Portland. Lincoln City, how beautiful is this right now? Plenty of folks out there enjoying the coast. It is 70 degrees in Lincoln City in this 5 o'clock hour. Up at Mount Hood Meadows, get this, it's 78 degrees up there at Mount Hood Meadows. We head over to Canby. They're in the mid-90s as you take a look at the lovely scene out there. 95 degrees. Now, here is something to be aware of. Our current air quality here in Portland has now been downgraded to unhealthy for sensitive groups because of this heat and really not any kind of breeze out there across Portland. Now, our weather pattern is staying the same as we continue through Tuesday with this strong ridge of high pressure anchored over the Pacific Northwest. And that's why we still have that excessive heat warning up and down the valley. That is in effect through Tuesday night with these triple digits continuing. And then there's also a heat advisory over the Cascades, dangerously hot up there, 80s and 90s, up to 96 degrees. Not only the Cascades, but that includes Sun River, Lapine, as well as we continue to stay dry throughout the long-term forecast here in Portland and then in Southern Oregon. Not only are they dry and hot, they're also expecting breezy conditions with that low relative humidity. That's why the National Weather Service has gone ahead and issued this red flag warning with increased wildfire threat down there in the southern part of our state surrounding Medford. Timing this out for you, we head into our evening still in the 80s across the metro area. And then overnight, really not expecting much cooling as we continue into Monday morning, low 60s by 5:30 a.m. And then we only are at 11 a.m. already into the upper 80s, and that will help us get back to that triple digit. So we continue with our Coin 6 weather alert for the next couple of days here. We finally have some changes midweek, and then a little bit of cooling come Thursday into the upper 80s, Lisa.
All right, thanks, Jamie.
Our very own Kelly Bayern would agree that it's faster and more fun to ski rather than drive. She didn't even have to go to the mountain. This was in downtown Portland, right outside the Coin Tower. Kelly was so excited about this all day yesterday.
I have been.
Yeah, look at you.
This has been a 2-year dream. Finally, this winter, I get to ski through Portland. That was a lot of fun. It was a short-lived run, just couple blocks. But
Yeah, but you do it well. We can tell that you've done that before.
Yeah, it's a real fun thing to do, and really cool to actually do it this year in downtown. So as we start this morning, we did see a little bit more light snow overnight. So you can see the view here just outside the Coin Tower. I snapped this on my way into work this morning. I do see about 3 to maybe close to 4 inches of snow outside the Coin Tower as of yesterday and this morning. I'll go back and check that after the show here, but that's a good amount. We were expecting to see a little bit more snow for areas around Portland here, but I think we were pretty much on the nose with our forecast. A bit more sleet and freezing rain to the west sides, and a lot of that thick and again larger flakes out towards areas near Vancouver and north. That's where that beautiful snow fell. Again, cities around Vancouver and north saw about 8 inches or more. It was just a very snowy event for those folks up north here. But again, around Portland, much of the heart of downtown saw that mix of sleet and some snow. Many areas reporting about 2 to 6 inches. Of course, that freezing rain and icing is still a big issue. We saw that mainly impacting areas about Lake Oswego further south into the valley. That was more of an icing event, and we still could be dealing with issues as we head into the end of the weekend. Even a chance for some more rounds of freezing rain tonight through tomorrow. Take a look at this view early this morning out of Salem. Our viewer Jojo here sent this in. You can see just that ice coating that tree there, and a lot of these trees here with that ice are being weighed down by it. There have been some that toppled over into homes and into power lines too. So we may be dealing with some damage here and some power outages across the valley that'll continue throughout the day today. And we'll have updates on all those power outages, but that will be an issue moving into parts of our weekend. Again, here's a look at our radar. We're still seeing some light flurries around Portland now. We're back to that cold air. That surface layer of cold air is a little bit thicker now. So a lot of this is falling more so as a light snow flurry or some light snow showers rather than that sleet and freezing rain that we saw for parts of Portland. Again, not expecting a big dousing of snow for many folks today, but we'll see off and on showers. And as we start this morning with very cold temperatures here, we will likely see that falling more so as snowfall this morning. So possibly about 1 inch more of snow as we head into the day. Roads are still coated in a lot of snow. Take a look at temperatures now sitting in the mid-20s. It's hard to drive out there on many roadways. I advise folks just to stay home today as crews get to work on that. Notice that big Arctic air mass that started to seep in and started to work even down towards areas of Central Oregon. Bend now sitting at 9 degrees. The Dalles and out towards Hood River today will still see that big snow vent. So we're still expecting to see heavy snow out in that region. I-84 is closed down from Troutdale out to about Hood River. I have no idea when it will open up again, but we'll also keep you up to date on that. But just incredible weather out towards the gorge. I've been loving this view too of downtown. It's just beautiful. You can see that white snowfall just glazing the city here. Just a nice view this morning. Mid-20s in Portland. Again, light flurries out as we head into our morning. A slow warm up to about the low to mid-30s today. So a chance we actually transition more to a light rain shower too. But that's very short-lived. As we head towards our evening, we're back to cold weather as those east winds continue to blow into Portland, so a chance we get some freezing rain as we head into our afternoon and evening as well. Again, scattered showers today. We're working with much less moisture than what we saw yesterday evening time. So again, scattered showers pushing on through. They do get a bit more heavy going into tonight. I do see another patch of some freezing rain here in Portland. Again, a transition to more showers down towards Salem tonight. So I think we're starting to warm up and work out of that freezing layer and icing in the central parts of the valley, but that threat may move into portions of Portland tonight. Here's your zone planner out towards the coast too, expecting a rainy and breezy day today. No snow out there, but again, the gorge still working with that snowstorm and heavy snow, windy conditions, almost blizzard-like conditions. Central Oregon, some light snow today. And again, Portland, we'll see off and on scattered snow showers plus rain showers and also freezing rain showers. So a mixed bag of weather through the weekend. We don't thaw out until we head into next week. Got a fairly rainy and normal weather week as we head into Monday and beyond. But again, this weekend will still stay very cold. Back to you guys.
All right. Thank you, Kelly. It is 7.
Strong winds blew off part of a roof at an apartment complex in El Paso, Texas Thursday. Authorities say at least 12 units were impacted, and thankfully no one was hurt. Out west, a second avalanche hit the Palisades Tahoe ski resort Thursday, just a day after one killed 66-year-old Kenneth Kidd and injured 3 others. No one was caught in the snow. Meanwhile, in Idaho, 2 men were rescued after an avalanche in Shoshone County. Officials say a 3rd man is likely deceased, and they are planning a retrieval mission later this morning. This comes as another winter storm is heading for the region. Let's bring in NBC meteorologist Angie Lassman, who's tracking multiple systems this morning. Hi, Angie.
Hey, Francis. Good morning to you. Happy Friday. Multiple systems that have left us with plenty of alerts across the country. We've got all the colors on the map. Winter alerts, wind alerts, flood alerts, and we've got a tornado watch that's going to go a little while longer through this morning, and I won't be surprised if we see more of these throughout the day with that system on the move, bringing heavy rain, strong winds, the potential for some severe storms, and not to mention some heavy snow across portions of the Midwest and the Great Lakes. Here's how it moves through the next couple of days. This is as we go through your Friday. There's the heavy snow, really difficult, nearly impossible travel at some points across the Great Lakes. We'll see that heavy rain on already saturated grounds. The flooding concern will be there through the next couple of days. And even into tomorrow, it'll still be blustery, so those intense lake effect snow bands will remain. This is the area that we're watching. 29 million people here for the potential of severe storms later this afternoon. Wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour. The potential for tornadoes all on the table, as well as some hail. Make sure you have a way to get those alerts. When it's all said and done, as we get through Sunday, we could see upwards of 1 foot to 1.5 foot across portions of the Great Lakes, with those lake effect snow bands being really intense and impressive.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.